Welcome, friends. Today is May the 5th, 2021. I am your host, Samuel Ibrahim, the host of the Mind of the Prophet Meditation Hour. I'm actually debating between two names. Should it be the Mind of the Prophet podcast or the Mind of the Prophet Meditation Hour? I actually prefer the latter. Even though this isn't a traditional form of meditation, I still enjoy this very much. And I'm still, very much in tune with God while I speak to you. Now, this is episode number 3, and if you have listened to the first 2, you are aware that we start each episode with an affirmation. We're going to switch it up today because we have a special topic that we're going to discuss: freedom. Freedom is my favorite 7-letter word. Free is my second favorite 4-letter word. Well, I'm going to say it's my first favorite. You guys can guess what the second favorite is. All right, so here we go. For all of those who are ready, let me pull out my affirmation because I closed it up. Stand by. I'm ready. I should know this by heart, which I actually do. I am free. What thoughts does a free man have? What thoughts does this free man have? What choices does he make? What choice does this free man make? How does he value his time? How does he value his money? How does he love? How does he forgive? I pray for my soul throughout time, past and future, so that I may awaken in the present moment a free man without regrets. That is how we're starting today's show. And I think it's going to be a good one because we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics to talk about, and that is freedom. Freedom, 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 freedom. We hear freedom all the time. I'm a citizen of a democracy, although if it was not for my own spiritual beliefs, I would not believe myself to be a free man because poor people in a democracy are not free. I'm just going to say that right now. It's like they gave Jesus and Tupac a podcast, and I came to burn this bitch down. I'm just trying to tell you that right now. I'm about to be the biggest hellraiser that they ever gave a podcast episode to, and I apologize in advance if they came through a little too loud in your earphones, but I meant every word. Oh, I meant it. And I'm going to have so much fun doing it. All right, so I won't delay. I'm going to jump right into I'm going to show my narrator from Volume 1, The Mind of the Prophet, Diary of Curious Mind, Volume 1. His name is Clay Lomakayu. Great narrator. He's narrated several books that I actually like. That's why I specifically singled him out in my first book. And he did an excellent job. So I'm going to stop the segment right here. We're going to throw Clay on. He's going to read, or you're going to hear entry 8 from the Audible version of Mind of the Prophet, Diary of Curious Mind, Volume 1, which is available on Amazon Audible. Please go download it. It's only $6. It's an hour and 11-minute listen, and I believe it is packed full of much better wisdom than you're going to get on anybody's Sunday morning. I said that, and I meant it. All right, guys, so Clay is coming up next, and then we will discuss what Clay reads to you about freedom.
Entry 8. Would you die for your freedom? Not freedom in the patriotic sense of the word. Your complete freedom. The absolute manifestation of the dictionary definition of freedom. Freedom means the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Before anyone can honestly answer the question, they must know what freedom means to them. If you can't define your freedom, what's your incentive to risk everything for it? What does freedom mean to you? What does freedom smell like, taste like, sound like? While you consider the question, don't consider the struggle to attain freedom only the feeling of holding it in your hands. What does it feel like to possess freedom without fear of it slipping through your fingers. What does freedom feel like without the guilt of believing you don't deserve it? Once you define it and you feel it, and you can imagine yourself walking your sandy beach of heaven, write it down. Your freedom cannot infringe upon the rights of your neighbor. You don't want the universe to manifest the karma that comes as a consequence. Etching your words into paper activate God's universal laws. God's promises are universal laws. Write the vision and make it plain. Now expect to receive the promise. The universe is not a man or a woman and therefore cannot lie. God's word does not return to us void. Ask, and ye shall receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be added unto you. The universe conspires with us to exceed all that we can imagine if we exercise our imagination. Faith, imagination, is the substance of things hoped for. By denying our senses and holding fast to the vision. If the early Christians understood this, I understand why they would endure crucifixion. If indigenous people understood this, I understand why death was the more noble choice than the chains of slavery in any form. If humanity understood its birthright to speak and create, we'd only allow the lovely words of freedom to escape our lips. Does your image of freedom ignite your divine spark to be loosed from any prison? Can you give yourself wholly in pursuit of it? If not, reimagine freedom. Freedom costs you nothing more than a made-up mind.
All right, we're going to discuss that in a minute. However, I want to also add in a poem that I wrote about freedom for four reasons. Number one, because I like to write poetry. Two, Clay is an old white guy. He's cool. I think he lives like somewhere far away from everything except for, internet and water and some beaches or something. He just strikes me as the type that has really long hair, probably surfs every morning, and has a parrot. And to show y'all, I have bars. Like, I really can write well. And this old 60 to 70-year-old white guy, I gave him some amazing bars. And I low-key have a Twitter beef that Drizzy and J. Cole would not engage me in because they're cowards. I'm so glad I have this mic. I'm going to call them a coward until they respond. I'm going to enjoy this. And pretty soon they're going to have to answer because when I speak, things happen. So if they get tired of being called a coward, because they're going to start experiencing cowardly shit in their life until they respond to me. All right, guys, so here comes Clay with entry number 6 off of The Mind of the Prophet, The Diary of a Curious Mind, Volume 1, that is also on Amazon Audible. Enjoy.
Entry 6. Where's the way out? Universe, please, show me. Where's my path to be set free? Is it no sex, no drinking, or no weed? Is it one woman, or do they come in threes? I don't know. I'm just tired of walking this road. This load feels heavy, and I don't know where to go. I pray for clarity. I need some for sure. I need to catch my breath if I'm supposed to keep going. I feel empty, Lord. What's left to be spoken? Please hear my petition. My dreams feel deferred. Is that part of my mission? Am I supposed to be persecuted in this season? Is this everyone's path to true freedom? If it's not, universe, please show me the meaning. This pressure ain't easing. Makes me question all the scriptures I've been reading, the life I've been speaking, and the truth that I'm seeking. Instead, my life feels beset by many demons. family, and friends with hearts that stay scheming. I reflect back and wonder if my actions are the reason. If they are, show me the truth that I ain't seeing, because right now, I'm questioning everyone breathing. Deliver me from evil. Deliver all your people. Set us all on a true path to be equals. Cancel all the sequels. Bind any words that hurt us when we speak 'em. Bind any words that we speak and we don't mean 'em. Infuse me. Set me up nice so you can use me. Bring me help, the money, and some angelic bullies. Stop my thoughts and my words from acting foolish.
All right, just so y'all know, the bullies have arrived. And if they have not visited you already, you will be meeting my goons shortly. And I say that with supreme confidence. Y'all are in trouble. All right, so I want to say one more comedic thing before you really get into the meat of this thing. This is why I said that Clay is like lost in the woods somewhere. So when you set up, when you're narrating a book in Audible, you have to send the script to the narrator. They send you all the different pieces of your book. You have to approve it. So in one of my entries, I say something about Beyonce's influence, and when he did the initial recording, he called Beyonce Beyonce. He didn't say the say part. He just called her Beyonce. And so if this guy does not know Beyonce's name upon recognition, I figure he has to be hiding somewhere in super deep seclusion because he don't know shit about Lemonade, which is a classic. All right, so now let's really get into the meat of why we're here today. And that is to talk about freedom. Freedom. People understand freedom in many different ways. And I'm learning that at least, and I won't speak for all countries because I live in America. And I say of America, I've been to several countries and I have experienced different cultures and how they approach the world. And I have to tell you that Americans don't know freedom. Not right now. If they have served in the armed forces, they know freedom. If they have ever served time in prison and they have not gone back to prison, those men know freedom. If they've ever had to defend their life or the life of someone else from being taken, those people know freedom. If people have escaped poverty, they know an aspect of freedom. Because if they have not reached back to pull somebody up, then you're still bound by chains. A free man will always help free another man. That's what Harriet Tubman did. Harriet Tubman, who was free by all accounts, that was a bad chick. She was the Black Moses for real. She parted the Red Sea every time she went to Canada or to Philly or anywhere else where she was escorting slaves to safety. And then she parted it again on her way back to get more people. And she was helping random folks, random people, make their way to freedom. Freedom for too many African Americans specifically is tied to those who have made it, right? If you made six figures, and I'll tell you, six figures ain't no money. If you're harping over six figures, then you just really need a reset as to what you think is real money. Six figures ain't no money. 7-digit money is real money, okay? 7-digit money is real money, but then somebody told me something very wise once. If you have $1 million and you go buy $1 Coke, you ain't a millionaire no more, right? So you need at least two to maintain your millionaire status. In my opinion, I don't even think 1,100,000 is enough because you still got to buy a house. You still got to get a car. You still want to take some trips. I mean, if you have 7 digits, you want to enjoy the freedom, but if you really max out too hard, you're going to be back to 1,000 here after you just do a few things. So you need at least 2 million out the gate. And so you can save $1 million, and maybe $100,000 of that is, fuck off money. Those people know freedom to a degree. If you're not trying to pull somebody up with you, you don't know anything about freedom. Free men don't even like to hang around people that ain't free. So you need to be trying to free, in my opinion. This is my opinion. But my opinion is God's opinion, so it really should be everybody's opinion. is if you have freed yourself from the constraints of poverty and you're not trying to lift somebody else up out of poverty, and I don't mean a scholarship, because that is giving somebody else the responsibility of identifying who should be freed, and you don't know what their perception of life is or where they came from or whatever lens that they're using. You should be using your own lens to identify who is ready to be free, because everybody ain't. Some people like the chains that they're in. And what I've learned is if people want to stay in their chains, you just got to let them stay bound until they're ready to be loosed. And you'll know when they're ready to be loosed. It's just a difference. A free man recognizes a free man. A free man recognizes a person's desire to be free. And when a person does not exude a desire to be free, let them stay chained up. Because you can't save them. You'll drown yourself. Actually, more specifically, you'll put yourself back in the chains trying to save somebody who's not willing to be free. That's why Harriet Tubman carried a gun, because she would kill them. She would kill them before she jeopardized her own freedom. Well, we can't do that in 2021 lawfully. So what are you to do? So now let's talk about freedom. This ain't even a rant. I feel like I'm about to go in today. I feel it. Would you die for your freedom? That is an honest question. Ask yourself, would you die for your freedom? And let me go a little deeper with that. Clay already hit on this. What does freedom look like to you? Have you defined what freedom is, or do you just accept that because you were born in a democracy that claims to have free citizens, that you are free because your Constitution says that you're free? But if you're African American in this country, if you're an immigrant in this country, if you're Hispanic in this country, and now Asians are starting to feel the heat, right? Muslims have already felt the heat. The only people that are free in this country are white people and rich people. Everybody else is trying to become free. You have the freedom to move around. You have the freedom to go to the store, buy what you want. But are you free to send your kids to the school that you want to go to? Are you free to go to the doctor when you really need assistance? Or do you feel free enough to call the police to help you with your problem? Come on, man. Y'all don't want to even see me on this one. Because if you really think about that, if your life is restrained in any kind of way, you're not free. Furthermore, if you are not living out your God-given purpose, because the Bible says in Joshua, I knew you before I formed you in the womb. Have y'all asked God why he formed you in the womb? Because if you haven't, you won't know the answer. If you have not expressly said to the universe, why have you formed me in the womb? The universe is not going to just lay that out for you because you didn't ask the question. So I dare you to ask the question. If you ask the question, let me just tell you right now, he will answer. God will do one or two things for you. He will show you, number one, and then what he shows you is yours to accept or reject. And I'll say this, if you reject it, you just might as well slit your wrist, because you will never enjoy your life until you are doing the thing that God called you to do. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you from firsthand experience. This moment in time, even though it is perfect, on May 5th, 2021, was ordained 19 years ago. It took me 19 years to walk it out with this level of confidence. It took me 19 years to have a full understanding of why God formed me in the womb. But I tell you, I went through 19 years of heartache. I went through 19 years of struggle. I went through 19 years of wandering. And I finally found my land of Nod. You guys have read the book. You understand that Nod is where Cain ended up when God redeemed him. And I feel redeemed fully. Especially now that I have a mic. Y'all are in trouble. Oof. It's like I'm the pastor of my podcast. And guess what? I ain't sharing the mic unless you deserve to be on the podcast. And I love it. Ain't nobody going to shut me off because I'm not going to say anything to incite a riot. But I am going to speak the truth. And I came to burn down every institution, I came to burn down every lie. I came to burn down all things that are untrue, not just about what I believe or who I believe God to be and what I believe about God's character, but all the lies that are spoken here in this country. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go back to what I was saying about freedom, but I got to get this out because I mean it. Why does there have to be a study about reparations that are due to African Americans if it is not quantifying how much money they about to run us? Because it ain't a point of whether or not we have earned it. I'm not going to say deserve. We earned that shit. And if you don't think that we earned it, y'all welcome to debate me anytime, any place. But I promise you, it's like a surgeon's cut 1,000 times, and you'll bleed to death before you win. And I'll just be sitting in my chair. I do not lose, especially when I put my mind to something. I don't lose, and I go for the throat and the heart. It's going to be bloody. So anybody that wants to challenge that fact, please come on down. Because if you don't think that reparations deserve, African Americans are deserving of reparations, something is wrong with your mind. Especially President Joe Biden, especially Kamala Harris. Sis, did you sign off on a study? They need to be studying everybody having 7 digits. Make that happen. If we can have the defense budget that we have, I'm going to tell you where that money is better spent. It's better karma attached to it. You need to run, and I'm saying this to the United States government. Y'all need to run African Americans $1 million each. I feel like Dr. Evil from Austin Powers right now. I don't have my pinky in my mouth, but I should take a picture like that. I will. I'm going to get a gray suit, and I'm going to do that just because, to taunt Joe Biden, because I do that type of shit. Every African-American household, every person in every African-American household, regardless of the age, should get $1 million. At least, for this country to make up for reparations. And if there are any other folks that are due their own reparations, y'all need to raise up y'all own messenger and get y'all own money. But I'm here specifically about this issue, at least for African Americans, this specific issue. We need our money. It ain't nothing to study. Cause let me just start the journey off for the folks that were Africans, and when they arrived at whatever ports they arrived in. First of all, you know slavery was brutal. They're trying to erase that from the history books, but I ain't gonna let it happen. Y'all gonna have to shut down Anchor. Y'all gonna have to shut down Spotify. Y'all gonna have to shut down Apple before y'all can shut me up. When those brave and blessed soldiers and women and children were put into those boats that were chained up, y'all have seen the pictures. Now, but this is what you're not understanding, because you saw the pictures, you saw the bodies and how they were organized, and that made you think that there was some kind of light at the bottom of the boat, but it wasn't. It was dark. So now you take a person who probably ain't ever been on a boat, shackle them to where they can't use the bathroom, eat, whatever the case is, so they're probably seasick, homesick. And the journey was several months. They were in the dark. What type of mindset did that person have when they got off of the boat? They would have done anything just to see light. They would have done anything just to breathe fresh air. And you're going to tell me the descendants of those folks don't deserve no money? That's a moot question. Y'all need to move on. And then, let me just keep on going, because I'm a free man, and guess what? I'm going to say that. This is the choice that this free man is make. Man, God have mercy. Y'all in trouble. Let me catch my breath because I get excited. So now let's talk about step 2. That's just the first part. So you get the folks here, however long the slave trade went on. Then they get off of the boat. They will do anything you want them to do at this point, because it would take a strong mind to even have their right mind to sit in the dark for that amount of time. I'll tell you what else too. God honors honest faith. God honors prayers. Y'all should be concerned, because those people prayed for however long in the dark for God to save them, and y'all day of reckoning is coming, United States government. Karma is a real thing. Retribution is coming your way. I know what I'm saying to you right now. It's a choice. It's also America's choice to make. So now, you dilute these bloodlines. That's a given. That you know, that's a given. Bloodlines were diluted. Men were raped. Children were raped. Women were raped. Families torn apart. This is the first parental alienation in the country. That's why it persists today. That's why we can't get rid of parental alienation today, because this country was rooted in parental alienation, or any other country that condones slavery. That's why you can't get rid of it. There's a day of reckoning coming for all these things. Now, Civil War comes. Y'all let the South beat up on the freedmen, play politics with their lives. You let Jim Crow happen in the South, knowing that it was going on. There is a reason for the economic disparity. And it goes far beyond the fact that we've been, quote unquote, free, for however many times. I don't even know the dates. I think they're irrelevant because it's not a true form of freedom. If the population in this country of African Americans is a minority, we should not be a large majority of the population in any type of prison. That logic don't add up. That is a direct result of slavery. Slavery is the direct proximate cause of that, in my opinion. And I think that can actually be proven legally if somebody has the courage to actually stand up and say that. Nobody's talking about reparations because African Americans have become passive since the revolutionaries were assassinated, and very few of us like to speak the truth. Artists have the mic and they don't use that mic. I respect the art, but if y'all ain't speaking truth to power, then what the fuck are you doing? Kim Kardashian ain't even black, and she got more balls than most of y'all because she went to Trump at least for people that she knew deserved to be free. What are y'all doing? Y'all clown Kanye. I don't know what he did. I'm not even gonna speak his name. You're just gonna banish Kanye to the corner. But Beyonce, Jay-Z, y'all could do better. Ross, y'all could do better. Brandon Marshall, you got a bomb podcast, bro. You could do better. There's a lot of folks that could do better. Kamala, you could do better. Get off of this bullshit, man. Where is the black pride? Where is the black power? Where is the fight for your right? Did that shit evaporate with Obama? I feel like it must have, because we let too much stuff go. We let too much stuff go on. So where's J. Cole? You got a pretty cold group of folks that rap with you. But y'all ain't freeing nobody. When people gonna start freeing folks around here? I freed more people in the past 4 months than y'all have, and y'all got platforms. I did this by hand to hand. Y'all can't even see me. I'm glad God gave me a mic, because y'all wasting y'all mics. If y'all ain't talking about reparations for African Americans, or y'all not trying to put people on, if y'all not really reaching back to the hood and trying to pull folks up, man, fuck these programs. People need real understanding. People need real access to you. Y'all need to figure that out, or the prophet gonna figure it out, and let me figure it out, because y'all will never get the mic back. God is my witness. I mean every word. All right, I'm off my tangent, but I'm serious about reparations. Y'all gonna hear that a lot coming from me. So, freedom. Have you defined freedom for yourself? And if you haven't defined it, bro, how can you die for something that you don't know what it's for? I'm just going to pause right there and let y'all consider that question, because that's an honest question. If you don't know what you would die for, and I don't mean like just die for your family, because listen, your family will chain you, fam. Your family will bind you to something that's bullshit. Your family will bind you to their bullshit. Your family will keep you stuck where you are. Your family, especially if they're adults. If you are taking care of an adult, more specifically, if you are taking care of an adult man, and you're an adult woman, you'll never be free. Because it don't work like that. It can be your husband. It can be your son. It can be your brother. It don't work like that. That's not how it's meant to work. Every man should stand on their own. It is a woman who should have the covering of a man, not vice versa. So if it's out of order, that's going to remain out of order. I'm just going to leave that too for people to ponder, because I came to hit people in the head. And I don't care who I offend. I hope it hurts your feelings, because I know when I speak the truth, the spirit is going to shake itself free. If you guys really want it to be free. But I'm a free man, so I can say whatever I want to. And I will always honor God and honor my calling. But I will not honor bullshit. I will not honor. I will not honor traditions that don't serve anyone. I will not honor traditions that should have been long outgrown. I ain't doing it because it don't serve nobody. It doesn't serve society, and for sure, if it don't serve me, I ain't giving it no attention. That's a fact. So freedom. If you haven't defined what your freedom is, then you'll get pulled into somebody else's version of freedom. That's why most people have somebody else signing their paycheck. Somebody else decided how they wanted to be free. They created it. They freed themselves and probably freed their families, and then put the rest of y'all in shackles. And signs your paycheck with your blood, sweat, and tears every day as it goes into your direct deposit on whatever your payday is. I'm just going to pause right there, too. Man, I feel supercharged today. Oh, my God. I think it's because the sun is out, the birds are chirping, but everything that I say is the truth. In my eyes, this is beyond an opinion. If you can't define what your freedom is, you have no incentive to die for it. So, how do you decide what your freedom is? That's your freedom. Personal freedom evolves. It evolves, and I'll tell you, I have a lot of affirmations and such posted on my blog. Blog is mindoftheprophet.com, and I don't know if you can search through there. I think it's like chronological. Maybe I need to add a search feature. If anybody wants to volunteer to help manage my blog, that would be great, because I don't really have time for it. I would say pay you. Actually, I could pay somebody to manage that, but you have to be reasonable, and I need to see copies or examples of your work. Okay. All right. So, if you have not defined your freedom, that's where I was going. What is it? What does it feel like to you? You evolve to it. So when I ask my questions each morning, I said this affirmation, of the freedom affirmation that started the program. I said this to myself every day until I didn't have to. I said that to myself every moment until I didn't have to. And when I say I didn't have to, it's because it became second nature. I could say no to anything that I knew was going to confine me. And the only times that I would accept an opportunity that felt like it was putting a collar on my freedom was because I knew I could escape whatever it was at any point in time. So I was entering that prison with the understanding that that prison really don't hold me. It just has what I want for the time, what I wanted for the time being. But I could always leave it. If you are stuck in something that you can't leave, you're not free. If you're stuck in a job that you can't leave because now your money's tied up to it, your bills are tied up to it, your family's well-being is tied into it, you're not free. And now you're shackled by your job and your family. And then on top of that, you're probably shackled by church, which just amplifies the confinement, in my opinion. Freedom also includes freedom from any form of dogma, any form of religion. Anything that makes you betray yourself also betrays your freedom. Anything that makes you betray yourself also betrays your freedom. So ask yourself, really ask yourself, what thoughts does a free man have? And that's not you being free. That's any free man. Any free man. What thoughts does a free man have? And you got to go past what you understand about freedom, because really anything probably post the Revolutionary War don't know freedom. Like, we had a civil war, but that was based off of greed and heinous crimes of human atrocities. Where are the Nuremberg trials for America in slavery? We need the whole court, baby. I mean every word. But the American revolutionaries, those men knew freedom. The War of 1812, those men knew freedom. The Native Americans knew freedom. There wasn't a freer group of people that roamed this continent than the indigenous people. They knew freedom. They were born into freedom. They knew what freedom was, and they cut your throat for it. That was their way of life. But they would only attack you when it involved attacking their way of life. That's freedom. What thoughts does this free man have? Ask yourself that question. What thoughts does this free man have? So now you're talking to yourself. Now you're talking to yourself. What thoughts does this free man have? What choices does he make? How does he value his time? Because time is more than money. Money is the root of all evil, right? Money is just tied up into way too much. I mean, we needed to live. Baby got to eat. Mama need a new pair of shoes. But when it governs your life to a point to where now it restricts your movements, it has too much influence over how you live your life, you're a slave to it. And it's the root of all evil. And guess what? Roots dig deep. And if you want to get rid of the roots, you got to pull the tree up, baby. You got to pull it up by the roots if you don't want it to affect your life. So now, how does he value his time? Now, if you really own your time, I'm going to tell you, poor people, this is the cheat code. This is the cheat code, because I've been praying for y'all for a long time. The more you decide to take, I don't care how little time it is, but I'm just going to say start with 15 minutes. Even if it's at the start of your day, I'm actually suggesting, I don't insist, but I'm suggesting 15 minutes to start your day, 15 minutes to end your day needs to be your time. You need to block all bullshit during that time. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Turn your notifications off. Don't look at your emails, your social media notifications. Don't answer that phone call from that friend that don't respect your boundaries, or client that respects your boundaries, or that negative person that wants to tell you something negative as soon as their eyes wake up. Like, you need to protect your time from those type of people. And that time needs to be your time that you own completely for yourself, and do whatever you want to do within that time. I don't care what it is. If you can take more than 15 minutes, take it, right? But be very intentional about owning the time. Once you decide that you own, especially if you don't own nothing else, you hear what I'm saying? Especially if you don't own anything else, show the universe your commitment to at least owning 15 minutes of your day. I'll tell you a story. I started just making up in my mind that my first hour of the day was for meditation, which also means it's my time for God. And at night, before I went to bed, that was my time for meditation, which is also my time for God. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Nobody was welcome into that time without my permission. Nobody. I owned that time completely. I owned it completely because I needed the time. So I took the time. I absolutely needed the time. And the more that I was honest to that principle, God just gave me more time. So what started as 1 hour, just to help me stay sane, turned into 3 hours. Because now, for 1 hour, I might just be meditating, and then for 2 hours, I could be writing nonstop. And then it started to be several hours throughout the day. And now it's turned into, this is what I do. But that's how I started, right? I started with knowing that my time and my energy are my most valuable assets, not the money that I have in the bank, not the service that I do for other people. My time and energy and how I use it give me the best return. So once I really understood that principle, and I was really, really searching for freedom, really trying to understand what freedom meant. Freedom to me meant at least I'm going to own this time. If I don't own shit else, I'm going to own this 60 minutes. I'm going to own this 120 minutes. And I multiplied that. Man, boy, God be flipping stuff for real. When you do it, because you have the right intention behind it, you're doing something that you love. At least for me, I'm doing something that I love. All God did was multiply it, right? So find something that you love doing for 60 minutes. If it's really, spending time with your family, then okay. But I'm going to tell you something. If you involve another person within your time and they don't enjoy doing what you do, you don't fully enjoy doing whatever it is that you're asking another person to do or they're asking you to do, then it ain't your time. Like, it needs to be your time to where it don't have to be prayer. It can be whatever you need it to be, but it needs to be yours to where you're not going to wish that you didn't invite somebody else into that moment. Own it. Then you start seeing how a free man values his time. Because once you own that time, you will look at all of your time like that. Once you decide to own a small part of your day, it's just going to be a part of you that decides, I want to own all of my day. And a free man owns all of his day. If I had to say what thoughts does a free man have, and I can reduce it to one thing, it ain't about money. A free man owns his day from start to finish. He does it as he wants to do it. He does it as it's supposed to be done. But also in doing that, he doesn't infringe upon the rights of others. He doesn't oppress anyone else, but it starts by owning your time. Own your time. And watch and see what happens to your mindset. Once you make up in your mind, this is my time, period. And that just evolves on its own. How does a free man love? Only, love is different for everybody. So only you can answer that question for yourself. But once you get a taste of what freedom is of your time, you will also be asking, can I share this time with another person? And it can only be love or duty that would allow you to let somebody infringe upon time that is yours. That's how it should be, in my opinion. And then you can just kind of figure out from there like how a free man loves. But a free man loves perfectly. Loves perfectly. How does a free man forgive? Same thing. Don't hold grudges, because now you're chaining yourself to that other person for as long as you decide to hold a grudge. So you ain't free. And here's the cold thing. You can hold a grudge and the other person can be free as a bird, skipping and whistling and not caring. So really you just have two shackles on your own feet. And the other person is not even on the ground. They flying, but you don't know because you holding a grudge about something, which is stupid. Okay. That's the type of shit that causes cancer to form in your body. Holding a grudge. That is the type of thing that allows sickness to form in your body. And there's just an energy that comes with holding a grudge. There's just an aura that comes with holding a grudge, and there's nothing beneficial to any person or anybody around them that results from a grudge being held by any individual, especially an adult that knows better, especially an adult that knows that they shouldn't be holding a grudge in the first place. So I've gone down what the affirmation means to me. I hope you guys will really take the time to ponder that. And here's the thing. Don't overthink it, right? All I used to do, I'm just kind of explaining to you as I understand it. What I did every day was I would just say, I am free. I would ask myself the questions. And over time, what freedom means to me has evolved into where it is right now, and it's still evolving. But I have a much more firmer understanding of what I believe a free man thinks, what I believe a free man does with his time, what I believe what choices the free man makes, and how he loves and how he forgives, how he values his time and how he values his money, even when he ain't got no money. But when you value your time, money is irrelevant. Everything else will fall into line. That is for sure. All right. You guys have been great. If you guys have any questions, please shoot me comments. I think you can do that through Anchor. I don't know how that works through Spotify. But through Anchor, you guys can leave messages that we can actually hear, which is a pretty cool feature. Episode 2, I talk about a really cool science experiment that I'm working on to prove God's existence through science. If you are interested, please send me an email to mindoftheprophet@gmail.com and put experiments in the subject line. And you can find me on social media, Instagram. I just need to put that in my bio. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put all that crap in my bio. You can also purchase the Mind of the Prophet books on Amazon and Amazon Audible. I prefer Audible, but if you guys want to run me $40, I'll gladly take your money. I do wish to save the trees, but the paperbacks pay more. So if that's what you want to do, I'll gladly accept it, and I'll just kind of give something to Mother Nature on the side. You guys have been great. I hope this has inspired you to pursue or consider your freedom in a different way. And if it hasn't, come back tomorrow because I have more to talk about when it comes to freedom. Thank you for joining. Sam Ibrahim, out.